A little to the left. I have a love-hate relationship with puzzle games. If the solutions are clever after thinking about it, they can be enjoyable. However, if puzzles are obtuse or confusing, it can make it a chore to play. Unfortunately, this game is in the latter category. Or it could just be a game that doesn't appeal to me. This puzzle game is mostly based around things that you might find around the house, like pencils, fruit, pictures, or mugs. This game is tailored for people who obsessively want things in what they think is the correct position. And that's the problem. They want you to follow the logic that they're thinking. And that's often not clear. To be fair, there are occasionally different ways to solve the puzzle, but this was less common than you think. In each level, you have to think, how would these objects be best placed? And sometimes it would be very easy to figure out, like straighten out the pictures, or get things in order. But when it has you do some obscure movement, that's when things get frustrating. Like lining up these ads or postcards by the water flow. I mean, who would ever do that? There is a hint system to help you, and I think this is both a good and bad thing. The hint system is just the answer. You have to wipe away a board to show the answer. I wish it was more multi-tiered. I don't always want to see the answer. Sometimes I just want to know the strange direction they want me to go. Sure, you can wipe away a part of the screen and not all of it to give you a little bit of the answer, but at that point the hint is just too much. If it just showed a part of the scene or the first move, then if there was a secondary hint that would show you the answer, that would be much better. If you don't like the puzzle they give you, you could just skip it. And I like this option, as some of the puzzles were very tedious. That's not to say that some of them weren't enjoyable, but those were not as common as I would have hoped. For example, this battery puzzle was great. It was simple enough to figure out, but it wasn't a quick win. You had to line up the pictures on the batteries. It felt like something that someone might actually do. I wish there was more of this. Small puzzles that complete the larger one. The controls were not great on the controller. It would move to points that it wants to go, and that's to be helpful, but I found it more annoying. But I did get used to it. If I didn't have to record the footage, I would have just used the touchscreen to do the movements. It's much easier to do that. The biggest time the controls are an issue is that in some of the puzzles, a cat will mess with all the work that you do, and you're going to need to fix it before it comes back and messes it up again. And those sections were always frustrating. Now, this wasn't a very long game. It's about 2 to 3 hours, and that depends on how much time you spend on the puzzles. There's also daily puzzles for you to do, as well as some DLC which has more puzzles for you if this game interests you. A little to the left was okay at best. Let's be clear here, I am not the target audience for this. I like my puzzle games to make logical sense, and not based on what looks best to the person who made the puzzle. It feels like this had a good idea, but the execution was lacking. Now this is normally $14.99, and I say wait for it to go on sale. I know some of the comments out there go, he's been complaining the whole time, how is it a sale? A little behind the scenes, I gave this as a 6 as a score, and that's the tail end of a sale verdict. This feels like someone could really like this type of gameplay by using the obsessive thinking to move objects around. Now, I didn't enjoy it. That doesn't mean it couldn't be fun for somebody else. That's why I say I think you should wait for it to go on sale.